Yo guys, what is up? And today I am coming at you with another video, and today I am coming at you guys with my full review of Destiny 2. That's kind of the reason why I haven't uploaded in like a week or two, is because I've just been fucking obsessed with this game. Like, it's been a long time since I've gotten into a game like this. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So there are some negatives, but I'm gonna save those for the end of the video so we can start this out on a positive note. So let's go ahead and start with the positives. So number one, the biggest positive change to Destiny 2 from Destiny 1, the biggest thing that stands out is the story and the campaign. Vanilla Destiny, the story was just like nobody really knew what the fuck was happening. We were fighting some Vex thing, went to the Black Garden, there was this Exo Stranger that never showed up again. It was very vague. But in Destiny 2, it's a well, clear, defined story. Gaul's the bad guy, attacked the city, destroyed it. We have to kill him and take it back, yada yada yada. The cinematics were great. The campaign was fun to play, especially like near the end whenever you actually get on the ship and fight Gaul. That mission was pretty fucking epic. So yeah, I enjoyed that a lot. And also, as far as the story goes, they added in this new feature that kind of replaces the stupid ass grimoire system that they had back in Destiny 1, where if you wanted to go further into the lore and read about it on your own, you had to go to this app on your phone, the grimoire cards, and shit was just weird. But now it's actually in the game. You can, on certain weapons and armor pieces, mostly exotics, you can hold down L2 whenever you hit triangle and go into the details, and there's this whole lore tab feature where it'll give like backstory and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty cool. The next positive thing about Destiny 2, which is a great change, is the director and how open the worlds are. There's like 4 planets right now, and they're pretty decent sized maps for Destiny. I mean, they actually added fast travel. When I first got into the game and saw that, I was like, holy shit, this is fucking cool. I mean, the worlds look good. They're populated with enemies. There's public events that you can do. It's just great. Like, it feels so good not to have to depend on strikes and doing strikes 24/7 to get loot and stuff. Also, there's way more loot drops, way more ways to get loot. Like, I mean, you can basically level up by doing anything in the game, from public events to strikes to crucible to the raid. It's just great how they've done it. The leveling, or the light leveling system in this game is way more superior compared to Destiny 1. It doesn't feel as grindy. I mean, it's still a grindy game, but it's not that hard RNG grind from Destiny 1 that was just fucking agonizing to go through. I mean, at some points it really did suck. Also, this isn't really a game feature, but this is still a positive for Destiny 2, is the communication between Bungie and the community. We actually have a pretty well-defined roadmap for the next couple weeks as to what's happening with Destiny 2. Compared to Destiny 1, we would go through major content droughts without hearing anything from Bungie. I mean, that's why people would take such long breaks from the game or just quit playing it, because there was no new content and nobody had any idea of when new content was coming, so people would just simply quit. But this time Bungie is communicating with its player base. It does have a roadmap. It's got a plan for content. We already have kind of an idea of what the first DLC for Destiny 2 is going to be, which is going to have something to do with Mercury and Osiris. So yeah, that's going to be pretty cool. The next positive is the Crucible. The Crucible feels a lot better. It feels like they lowered the health a bit, or maybe upped the damage of the weapons compared to Destiny 1. Gunfights are a lot quicker. Hit registration seems better, and it just flows a lot better. And now we're going to get into the negative portion of this video, because this is pretty good segue, because the first negative I'm going to talk about involves Crucible, and that is that Crucible is 4v4. I kind of don't like it. I kind of wish they'd go back to 6v6. I like that a lot better. Most shooters like Call of Duty are 6v6 in regular modes. Also, another negative thing about the Crucible is the quick play playlist. You can't really choose what game mode you want to play. It just puts you in a random one. Like, you'll randomly go into Supremacy or Clash or Control. Personally, my favorite game mode is Control, and I liked in Destiny 1 how I could pick which game mode I wanted to play. Like, if I wanted to play Control, I could pick that, and it would put me in a lobby of Control game mode only. Not sure why they did away with that, but I mean, I don't know. It was stupid in my opinion to take that out of the game. The next negative, which is probably the biggest gripe that I have about this game, is the new weapon system, where basically now you have the kinetic slot, the energy slot, and the power slot. That replaces primary, secondary, and heavy, where basically you get 2 primary weapons. You get 1 primary weapon, which is just kinetic only, or you could put a sidearm in there. And then for the energy slot, it's the same thing. You can have weapons that are like the same, like you'd have an energy scout rifle that does void damage or whatever. And then for the power slot is fusion rifles, shotguns, sniper rifles, and rocket launchers. For whatever reason, I do believe they took LMGs out of the game. I haven't found any at all, and I am max level. My light right now is like 280 something, and I have not seen one LMG. I haven't gotten any, and I haven't seen any other players with them, so I'm assuming they took them out of the game, which I don't know why. I really enjoyed the LMGs. I enjoyed using the Thunderlord quite a bit in Destiny 1. But yeah, not a big fan of this weapon system, because basically now, especially whenever you're going up against a boss in like a strike or a raid, you're pretty much just only damaging the boss with like 2 primary weapons. Power ammo does drop way more than it did in the beta. That was a big problem, where power ammo wasn't dropping nearly enough as it should. It does drop more, but still though, it's just not enough in my opinion. I wish they would go back to the Destiny 1 weapon system. It also kind of messes up the Crucible a little bit, because now in Crucible you only pretty much use primary weapons. There's hardly any snipers or anything like that being used, so it definitely does shake up the gameplay quite a bit. I mean, I know snipers and shotguns, they did have some balancing issues in Destiny 1, but I don't think changing up the whole weapon system to make them nearly useless in Crucible was the way to go about it. Now, my next negative with this game is also a pretty big one, and that is the removal of random rolls from legendary and rare weapons and gear. So back in Destiny 1, you know, you always looked for that perfect roll or that god roll weapon. Now that's no longer the case in Destiny 2, because all weapons now have the same perks, although they kind of do alleviate that with weapon mods, but it's still not quite the same. I do miss, you know, kind of having that RNG randomness, like whenever you got a strike exclusive weapon, they weren't all the same because they'd all have different roles, and you know, it kind of gave you a purpose to, you know, replay content over and over, especially strike, so you get a strike specific weapon with a god roll. But now that's kind of taken away. Like now I get like 2 legendaries that are the same, and I always dismantle one, because I mean the rolls are the same. There's no reason to have like another one around. I just delete whichever one is the lowest light level. And last but certainly not least, another big negative, these negatives are pretty big ones, but thank God there's not many in this game, is the nightfalls. The nightfalls in this game, they're pretty difficult, especially now because all nightfalls now have a timer to them, and the time to get through some of these strikes are pretty low, especially depending on the size and how mechanic heavy they are. The first one was absolutely ridiculous with the Cabal one. I forget what it's called exactly, but you only had 10 minutes, and the boss fight, I mean, for a strike, it was a little bit mechanic heavy, and the strike was also big as well. It was a lot of ground to cover in 10 minutes. Quite a lot of enemies. You know, you only got like 2 seconds back on the clock for killing enemies, so it was just retarded. There was a lot of people complaining about it. The second time around it wasn't that bad because the strike was relatively small. This time around I haven't played the nightfall yet, but I don't know, they just gotta do something about that timer bullshit, because it's really fucking annoying. I wish they would just make it more difficult or something rather than having the stupid timer shit, because it just makes me not even want to do nightfalls. But other than those negatives about the game, this game is really fun. It's Destiny 1 without all the bullshit. You know, we have a defined roadmap, there shouldn't be any content droughts, and so far I'm not even tired of the game. I mean, there's so much shit to do in it. Like, I was kind of overwhelmed whenever I first started playing it. You know, it looks good. Unfortunately there's not 60 frames per second, but it's whatever. I was thinking about getting it on PC until I found out that it's gonna come out way later than you know, it's already out on consoles now. It doesn't come out on PC for like another month or 2, so that sucks. But overall the game is good. I would highly recommend it if you're a fan of Destiny 1, and I'm having a shit ton of fun with it. Probably be using it for background gameplay in my videos quite a bit. May make some content specifically on it, and yeah, So I'm going to be back on this video grind. Stay tuned, because either tomorrow or the next day I'm going to be talking about this whole Ethan Klein from H3H3 and PewDiePie situation where he's kind of being a hypocrite, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Bye.